The award of valedictorian is granted to seniors who have earned the highest cumulative grade point average through the first 7 semesters of their high school career. Over their tenure at De La Salle, they earned the highest academic marks in every class, resulting in a cumulative GPA of 4.0. It is my privilege to present to you our 3 valedictorians for the class of 2025. The first valedictorian for the class of 2025 is Kahlial Lofquist. Stay up here, Kahlial. Kahlial's teachers describe him as consistent, mature beyond his years, and always striving for perfection. He is also incredibly thoughtful, and his dedication to giving back to the people and organizations that have supported him is a testament to Kahlial's consistent focus on gratitude. With a sharp wit and a great sense of humor, Kahlial can add levity to any situation. A recipient of the Jordan Wing Scholarship, Kahlial will be attending Stanford University next year, where he will double major in economics and sociology. There is no doubt that he will continue to be a change maker in this world. Thank you, Kahlial, for all you have brought to the De La Salle community. The second valedictorian for the class of 2025 is Jaden Trinh. Leader, detail-oriented, kind, a great baker are adjectives that come to mind when you think of Jaden. Jaden has quietly and consistently performed at the top of his class in every subject, every year. This dependability is matched by an internal desire to reach his highest potential in all areas of his life. Everyone in the graduating class knows that they can count on Jaden to explain an assignment or lend a helping hand. Next fall, Jaden will be attending Harvey Mudd College to major in engineering. We know that this is just the beginning of Jaden's academic career. Thank you for being a model student to everyone at De La Salle. The third valedictorian for the class of 2025 is Violet Whaley. Violet's teacher knew she was going to be wildly successful in high school from the start of 9th grade. An extremely talented writer and critical thinker, Violet's perspectives and willingness to share her opinions with her classmates have challenged everyone to dive deeper into the content they are studying. Violet has a natural curiosity about the world that comes out not only in her writing and class discussions, but also at the heart in her art, another area where she shines. Violet is headed to Barnard College next year. Where she will major in political science. The world needs you, Violet. We are honored to call you a graduate of De La Salle North Catholic. Our valedictorians will now say a few words.
To be one of the few to stand here and represent our class is an honor and a privilege, and something I could not have done without the support of my community. Seeing how talented my fellow graduates are, I feel especially proud of all that we have accomplished to get here. Graduation is as much a celebration of our future as it is a goodbye to the past. So many times during our last 4 years, we have been told not to hesitate, to turn that assignment in on time, to hurry and apply to college, and ultimately to grow up. For one moment, though, I think we should pause. Take in this moment for all that it is worth, and finally take that breath we've all been holding. For some of us, this dream began the day we stepped foot in this school, while for others, graduating high school means fulfilling their parents' dreams today as well. Graduation might feel like a moment that couldn't come fast enough, and for others, this is a bittersweet goodbye. For me, I think it's a little bit of both. There are many things I will miss about being in high school, but there's definitely a whole lot of relief that it's over too. I imagine my classmates can understand that feeling. However, when you did that assignment despite your struggling, or came to class even when you felt that you couldn't, you truly earned yourself the accomplishment that is graduation, and no one can tell you that you didn't earn it. Now, your foot is over the finish line, and the person you have to thank the most for that is yourself. High school is a period in our lives where we undergo the most change. And though that change is hard to notice as it happens, it's obvious once we're on the other side. For me, change has always been something I struggle to accept. It's scary to let go of the familiar, and the fear that I'm not ready for whatever comes next will always be there. For many of us, going to college will be the biggest change we've undergone. And I'm so happy to share that every single one of us will be facing that change soon, as 100% of our class was admitted and will be enrolling in college. Instead of seeing each other's faces every day, we'll find ourselves spread all over the country as we pursue academic excellence in a new setting. In the fall, I will be attending my dream school, Barnard College of Columbia University in New York. Something I didn't realize until writing this speech was that to pursue my dreams, I would be leaving behind the people who kept them alive. But instead of crying over that, which I'm sure I will later, I'll instead be grateful for the people who cared enough about me to choose to not only support me, but to support my future, even when I struggle to see it. I know when I leave, I will leave a piece of my heart here. I'll leave it with my parents, who supported me throughout my life, with my teachers, who enriched it, and with my friends, who more times than they will ever know, made life feel meaningful and gave me something to look forward to, our future together. I love you guys. I hope each and every one of us in the class of 2025 will continue to grow in our support networks and community in college. Finally, if I had to give one piece of advice, it would be this. Remember that to be human is to have empathy. Bring the compassion that you've learned here with you as you embark on this next journey. And as you meet new people, remember, hate is something you are taught, not something that you are born with. So teach the kindness that you want to see in the world. We are all human and deserving of love, and now more than ever, we need to be there for each other. As we take this next step, let us strive to be the best versions of ourselves, not only for others' sake, but for our own. Congratulations and thank you.
Good afternoon. As some of you may know, I have a passion for baking macarons. And if there's one thing in high school has taught me, it's the realization that both come with many unforeseen variables. Seriously, you think you're following a recipe, you sift the ingredients, preheat the oven, set the timer, but somehow things still fall apart. The cake sinks, the cookies burn, you overfold the batter or forget an important ingredient. And all you can do is stare through the oven door window, wondering what went wrong. For a while, that's what high school felt like for me. A long series of attempts, some cracked shells, some overbaked, some that never made it past the mixing bowl. But every failure, every mess, every why isn't it working moment was a part of the process. And eventually, it all began to make sense. During our robotics junior year, we poured a lot into our project, only to lose again and again. But instead of falling apart, we cut our losses and went out for a stroll on the beach at Daimler. We walked along the shore and talked about what we wanted for our futures, hopeful for what was to come next year. Then there was the first ever boys volleyball team in our school's history. We lost the first. We lost the first round of state, but that doesn't tell the entire story. The real story is that we made it. We built that team from scratch, no prior seasons to lean on, no established program to fall back on. Just grit, teamwork, two amazing coaches, and a belief that we could win. That, to me, was the rise. Those losses didn't just teach me how to handle disappointment. They gave me something to build on. I learned how to be proud, even in defeat, how to see the value in what wasn't perfect, how to trust that just because a batch of macarons comes out cracked doesn't mean you're not a baker. And slowly, I started to see the gains. My efforts through my 4 years at DLSNC came through. Not only did they help me get accepted to the colleges I wanted to go to, but there was also recognition in ways I didn't expect. When I was nominated for the Outstanding Athlete Award, I felt completely sideswiped. I wholeheartedly thought it was going to the bear. I was so anxious at that moment, I started biting my nails and shaking my leg. That's what baking in high school has been about. Not perfection, but patience, practice, and consistency. Somewhere between robotics failures, volleyball upsets, college apps, and late nights working through essays in the Academic Resource Center with friends and mentors, I started figuring out my own recipe. How to persist when the pastries fail, how to keep going when the batter's lumpy, how to trust that if I just keep trying, tackling each variable one by one, the next attempt might come out to be better than the last. And it did. To my classmates, whatever version of the kitchen is, science, sports, art, advocacy, I hope you remember this. The failures count, the cracks in the shells, the moments when everything looks off, those are part of the process. In fact, they're the most important part. Because when you finally pull something beautiful from the oven, when your work is recognized, your efforts pay off, and the people around you say, "You did it," you know it wasn't luck, it was earned. So here's to all the burnt cookies, our deflated cakes, our overwhisked eggs, and here's to the final product that came from it all. Congratulations, class of 2025, we baked it. Okay.
To the class of 2025. We made it, finally, through 4 years of walking down a single hallway, through 8 semesters of classes, blah, blah, blah. This is, somewhere along the lines of what you expected me to say today, but I think we should change it up a bit. When I was 5 years old, like many other kids, I probed my mom with tons of questions. But one in particular sticks with me today. Why can't I hear my DNA when it talks to me? And when did it tell me that I'm small? And yes, I know that didn't make any sense, but at 5, I asked that question with pure curiosity, not confusion. I wanted to understand why I was different, why the world responded to me in the way that it did. My mom smiled, corrected my little misunderstanding, and gently introduced me to the reality of my stature as a result of my form of dwarfism. But during those conversations, my mom never told me it would be easy. She never promised that the world would always meet my young, innocent self with kindness. But both my mom and dad taught me that I was never meant to shrink myself to fit into the expectations of others because they can't zoom out. I learned early on that my presence often came with curiosity, glances, stares, lots of questions. People spoke to me like I was small in more ways than one, as if my stature dictated my intellect, my confidence, and my worth. And for a long time, I felt that, and sometimes I still do. But life has a funny way to go about forcing growth. My DNA did not just determine that I'm small. It also guaranteed that I'd become very, very skilled at navigating a world that typically forgets to include me in the blueprint. That navigation taught me everything: how to speak up when people talked over me, both literally and figuratively, how to be patient with misunderstandings, and how to stay grounded, even when most chairs leave my legs dangling. But here's the good part. Through all that, I didn't just grow up and mature faster. I found myself, and I found my voice, as corny, cliche, whatever you want to call it, as it sounds. I learned that confidence isn't just about walking into a room and being the loudest. It's about showing up fully as yourself, even if that self doesn't fit the mold that the world prescribes to us. And I definitely didn't get here alone. Behind every step I took and will continue to take is my family. My mama, papa, and sister, also known as the great undefeated Team Lofty. Actually, let's pause real quick. I want to acknowledge that my sister just crushed her audition for the Jefferson Dancers the other day, and yep. And she got an interview for the first team as an 8th grader. Yeah. All right, back to business. My family never let me believe that I had to be anyone but me. They show me what real, unconditional love looks like every single day. They reminded me that I didn't need to be tall to stand tall, that I could lead with empathy, with humor, and with heart, and that in itself would be enough. And to the friends, teachers, and mentors who chose to see and remember me, not just for what made me different, but for what makes me a whole person, thank you. You helped build the confidence that brought me to this podium. Class of 2025, maybe you weren't born with something that makes people stare. Maybe you didn't have to answer a million awkward questions about your body. But I promise you that every single person here knows what it feels like to be misunderstood, to be underestimated, and to question your own enoughness. And it's in those moments, not the polished and pretty ones, where we grow the most. When you feel out of place, overlooked, or misunderstood. How you react in these moments is where your voice takes shape. That's where you start becoming you. And we've changed and adapted these past few years, not always gracefully. Some of us became quite comfortable turning in assignments at 11:58 p.m., and that's okay. We also bonded and supported each other. We found ways to thrive in what felt like chaos. And if we can do that, we can do just about anything. But here's what I'll leave you with. Don't wait to be fully understood before you take up space. Don't wait for the world to be ready, because it probably never will be. Be bold anyway, speak up anyway, show up anyway. You have one life to live, so make it count. In class of 2025, maybe we can't hear our DNA talk, But look at us now. We've made it speak volumes. Thank you.